I am unaware if someone else has already said this, but today I want to make a statement which will not be welcomed by most of the universities. In my opinion, bachelors, masters, and PhD, the good, the bad, and the ugly. In this video, I will explain to you why doing a bachelor is always good, doing a master's is bad, and then I will show you 5 reasons for you to say no to doing a PhD, which in my opinion is the ugly part of academia. So let's get started after a short break. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Tahir, and if this is your first time, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video on this channel every Tuesday and Friday. If you have already started PhD, then this video is not for you, because now you have made a decision and I don't want to demotivate you. Now you have to find your way to get better opportunities for you and get a better career. But for someone who is thinking to do master's or PhD, this video might be useful. So first let me explain why undergraduate is always good. When you do undergraduate, you get new skills, you get better career opportunities. After getting undergraduate degree, you normally become a professional. You get a professional job, you make more money, you get job satisfaction, you climb the corporate ladder, which is the normal course of career development. You start a new life and everything is fantastic. This is what you should be doing. And this is what most students do. They get an undergraduate degree, become a professional, get a good job and be happy. Now, some of the students, they could not get job after undergraduate degree, and that depends on many factors. It's not only your academic record, but most of the time getting job depends on your personal attributes. Not how good you are a student, but how good you are as a person. What are your qualities? This is more important for getting a job. Unfortunately, most students don't know this. And even their university teachers, they never tell you this thing. And now the problem starts. Some of the good students, they cannot get a job after their undergraduate, and then they start to think that doing a master's degree might be beneficial for them because now they will have a higher degree and they might be able to get a good job. And their family circumstances allow them to pursue the master's degree. So they are not in a need of cash. They just start master. They think that when they will become master, they will stand out and they will get a better job. But actually they are 100% wrong, because when you will become a master, chances of getting a job for you will reduce. And this is the misconception most of the students have. Actually, there is no need of master degree at all in my opinion. You do not get any new skill in masters which you cannot acquire without doing masters. The students who have good personal attributes, they get a job after their undergraduate. And that is the perfect situation. So if you are starting master degree thinking that you will increase your chances of getting job because you will stand out of the crowd, you are the only one who has master, your application will be first to put aside by the recruiter when they see your master degree. In particular, in Western countries, in advanced countries, it will be considered as a drawback. So anybody who is looking at your application, they will assume that this person could not get a job, so he started doing master's degree. So this will be the assumption when they look at your qualification. So there are certain jobs in which you will be overqualified. They demand, it's a requirement that you must have undergraduate degree and no master degree. So therefore, don't do this. Master degree is not good. Now let's talk about the ugly part of academia, the PhD. Now the first reason of not doing PhD is that your chances of getting jobs will become very limited. Now this time the problem is more serious, not masters, because if you are a mechanical engineer, you normally do masters in mechanical engineering or in manufacturing engineering, any related field. But when you do PhD, you become very specialized and there are very limited opportunities for you where you can get fit, because nobody is looking so specialized skills which you have, if you still have, because most of the time your normal skills, even your personal attributes, get destroyed during your PhD. So PhD is normally in a very specific field, and getting a job in that field is hard. Now, you might be thinking that I will get a very good academic position. That was the case in 1960s and 70s, 80s and 90s, but no more. Now universities are in a very bad shape. I was reading an article of Economist, and this article is still available. You can search by using some keywords. And in a specific period, I think between 2005 and 2009, there were 100,000 PhDs produced in US and only 16,000 academic jobs. Now you can get an idea of how good are your chances. This is when you finish your PhD. These statistics may vary in different countries, and in developing countries, there are still some opportunities, but those opportunities are going down. And by the time you finish your PhD after 5 years, your chances will reduce further. So this was the first reason, limited job opportunities. Now the second reason you should say no to PhD is that PhD is stressful. Even you are a smart student, you are intelligent, but still it is stressful. You have many stresses in PhD. The biggest one is stress of getting published, stress of doing experiments, stress of finding your way, stress of getting rejected. And not only one rejection, there are normally a series of rejections. And this series of rejections gives you stress. When I will get a publication, when I will become a doctor, when I will complete my thesis, will I be able to do PhD? So, lot of students, they get mental health issues. Some commit suicide. Why you would like to risk your life for an endeavor which is not very promising anymore? Why would you waste 5 years of your life? Why would you like to put yourself in these stressful situations? Don't do this. Say no to PhD. So this is the second reason. There are a lot of videos on YouTube about this topic. You can watch those and see for yourself whether I'm right or wrong. Now the next reason is that PhD is the worst form of studentship. When you were in primary school, your parents were used to take you to the school, bring you back. When you were in the high school, you were a very smart kid, a big fish in the school. Everything was easy, everything was under control. Then you did undergraduate. Still, you were smart, the things were not very hard, and you were doing okay. But when you start PhD, and in particular following the new trend, if you are going direct from undergraduate to master to PhD, now suddenly you become in an environment where everyone is smart. You are no more the big fish, you are just a fish. You are no more special. You are just an ordinary person. Nobody cares about you. Whether you study, whether you have fun. They think you are mature, but you are not. They think that you are smart, you should be doing some publications, doing some experiments. You don't even know what is this field all about. So there are too many expectations from your little soul which you cannot even handle. Because the problem is that in the school, in the undergraduate, you were competing against few hundred students, but now you are competing against the whole scientific community, the whole world. This is the difference. It's not like competing against 20 class fellows or 100 or 200 undergraduate fellows. No. And there is something more to this. These universities, they are businesses. They want to make money, more money. And the big money is coming from undergraduate students. They are paying universities. But in 90% cases, universities are paying you to do PhD. Now, when they are paying you, they are expecting something back. And the thing they are expecting back is that you should do some publications. And we have discussed that this publication is causing some stress on you. But have you ever realized that you are now working as a cheap labor for this university? The university will thrive on your publications. The rank of the uni will increase if you publish something. And you should. And you will. And you will work hard to do that. And you are cheap labor because if the university hires a lecturer to do the research and do some publication for university needs to pay $120,000 per year. But for you, university is paying just $20,000. And you are working harder than that lecturer would work. Because your career depends on this publication, while that lecturer has already got a job, so he will not care much about that research. You will care the most. So you are working hard, you are working day and night to get something published as a cheap labor for the university, and you are still confused whether you are a PhD student or you are a PhD scholar, student, scholar. But the fact is that you are in the worst form of studentship, working as a cheap labor to promote a university and doing a job which you have to do in order to get the degree. Now the next reason you should say no to PhD is because there is no set path. Now there are some misconceptions which I have discussed in other videos. Some students think that their PhD supervisor is key to their PhD. He or she will somehow magically guide them and they will finish the PhD. There is no such thing. Your supervisor is an employee of the university who university has appointed to give you some guidance because he has gone through this process. Otherwise, he doesn't know what experiments you have to do, what papers you have to write, and what will be the title of your thesis or what you have to do in your PhD. So this is the misconception, and the problem is there is no defined ways to complete a PhD as in the undergraduate. So okay, you submit an assignment, you get certain marks, then you do exam, you get few marks and you pass. You are done with the subject. So there is no such thing in PhD. Therefore, it's not for every student. Some students, they are self-motivated, they can find their way. But some students, they need 100% guidance. And there is no 100% guidance. So if you are one of those students, avoid PhD. And this is the reason why some get lost with their relationship with the supervisor. Some get lost in the literature review. Some even get lost in the beginning while writing their research proposal. They change their mind and they quit. So this is another very important reason. Now the last reason is that PhD is very expensive, even if it is fully funded. And this is because at the prime period of your age, you are spending 5 whole years on a specific project where you are getting only 20% of the salary you deserve. Look around at your colleagues, your undergraduate colleagues who are doing professional jobs. Their salary and your stipend, the ratio is 1 to 5. So therefore, it's expensive. You are wasting 5 years, which is also 20% of your working life or maybe 15% of your working life. You are wasting it just in a hope that you will get some academic position while the universities are in a very bad shape. And many people are calling postdocs and PhD as the ugly part because the way universities are handling postdocs and PhDs, they are not advertising any positions, any permanent positions. They have changed their strategy of making money. They are hiring short-term contracts, 3 months, 6 months, and you as a PhD student will be most of the time teaching undergraduates in their labs and in their even lectures. So you are working as a cheap labor Some postdocs are working as a cheap labor on short-term contracts while universities are trying to make more money. So there are not many academic jobs. If this is your only reason, think twice. So the purpose of this video was to give you some insight information about academia, and this is my personal opinion. I am not forcing you to do any action. It will be your own decision. Think carefully, and therefore I mentioned that if you have started your PhD, you should not watch this video, and if you are watching, this video should make you strong, that now you know all the pitfalls or all the negative points, so you should be taking care of these things and keeping in your mind. Now you plan carefully about your future and do what you need to do. So I hope that some of these points make sense to you. If so, please give it a thumbs up. And I think that some people might not like this video, but anyway, most of my videos are about how to perform better in PhD, but this video, I wanted to make this video anyway because there are few negative points about doing PhD and which I wanted to summarize in this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.